I remember back when I was living in college housing, there were a bunch of broke college kids around, and I had a little bit of money and I wanted to feed them every week. I fed 30 college kids every single weekend. And I would just make pizza until they could not eat anymore. And then I would send people home with pizza even after that. Let's be honest, I didn't send them home with the pizza. I ate the pizza for the rest of myself. You need some dirt cheap food so that you can, I don't know, not die? What are we gonna do? We're gonna go with some cheap foods. With cheap foods, that's gonna be the way to go. So cheap food number one, that's gonna be your rice. And you're not getting basmati, you're not getting jasmine, you're getting basic long grain white rice as cheap as possible. Buy a big bag, whatever it needs to be, but bigger bag, cheaper. That's a good rule of thumb for lots of rice. And so for rice, what are you going to do? You're going to do things like stir fries. They're like 90% rice. Stir fries are great because you get a little bit of vegetables, you get a little bit of meat, and you get a lot of rice. The rice is the cheap part. That's what we want to fill up on. Okay? Now, I know you don't want to just go with rice. So I'm gonna give you 4 other options other than rice and stir fry. So, option 2, you're gonna go with noodles. Noodles are very cheap, and you can do anything like spaghetti. You can do casseroles. You can do chicken Alfredo. Chicken Alfredo is a little bit more expensive because it's got chicken. So, a way that you can make that cheaper, shred your chicken. Don't cut it up into strips. Don't cut it up into the others. Shred it. And then make a giant pot. Have a small can of Alfredo sauce. You mix it all around. It's going to spread out the chicken more because there's more chicken shreds to spread around. So you get a little bit of chicken in every bite, but you're still going to use one chicken breast, but you're going to have a bigger bowl, bigger pot. And for casseroles, tuna fish casserole, I'll leave it at that. Mostly 90% rice. Sorry, so not rice, 90% noodles. All right, that's your second option. Your third option, you're gonna go with potatoes. What's good for potatoes? Well, you can do baked potatoes. That's 90% potatoes. You know, you can, minus your toppings. What else can you do? You can do mashed potatoes. That is more so a side, but if you want to turn it into a full-blown meal, you get shepherd's pie. That's what you do. You get your mashed potatoes, mix in some corn, mix in a little bit of, I don't know, some sort of green bean, and you mix in a few other things, add a little butter over top, and add in some beef. You're good to go. You're golden. Super easy, super cheap. That's your third option. What's your fourth option? Things like bread. And my favorite thing is making pizza. Because pizza is dirt cheap to make. That is one of the cheapest things you can make is pizza. And because it's mostly bread, so you can buy a giant 25 pound or 20 pound or whatever big bag of flour, and then you're gonna grab a, oh gosh, what's that? Sugar, pound of sugar. Then you're gonna grab some salt, you're gonna grab some yeast, and you're gonna get some vegetable oil. And then the other bit is water. Now when you mix all that up, you're gonna have dough. That can be for bread, that can be for rolls, and that can be for pizza. The pizza is the meal part because we're talking meals. And so you can go grab some cheap pepperoni, and with one bag of pepperoni, with the regular bags, you do that. With the 25 pound bag of that, you can make so many pizzas. You can probably make 6 pizzas just with that, and you're gonna have a ton of flour and sugar and salt left over. And that's the big portion of that. And then the next thing you have to do is have a little bit of pizza sauce. That's going to be super, super cheap. And then you're going to have leftover stuff for the next time you want to make pizza. And if you want to make pizza every night for a week, be my guest, do that. It's cheap. I remember back when I was living in college housing, there were a bunch of broke college kids around, and I had a little bit of money and I wanted to feed them every week. I fed 30 college kids every single weekend. And I would just make pizza until they could not eat anymore. And then I would send people home with pizza even after that. Let's be honest, I didn't send them home with the pizza. I ate the pizza for the rest of myself. But if they wanted to come over after the party, they were always welcome to. So there's that. I've had 30 people for like $80 a weekend. It was kind of crazy. So that's pretty cheap stuff. You can make pizza. So what do we have? We got rice. We've got potatoes. We've got noodles. And we've got bread. What does that leave us with? Beans. My favorite thing for beans, make goulash. It's going to be 90% beans. You're going to get 4 types of beans. Whatever you want, make it from a can. You're going to rinse off the stuff. You're going to toss it in a pot. You're going to add a couple cans of tomato, crushed up tomatoes. You're going to do that. Add in a can of corns or 2. And then you're going to add in a pound of ground beef. And if you're really broke, half a pound. And if you're super broke, no beef. But you can go with the cheapest beef, the 80%. 80% lean, 20% fat. That's going to be some cheap beef. Okay. So, and you're going to mix that all up. Add some spices. Add a little bit of cheese. Not a lot. A little bit of cheese. And you're good. And I usually make that in a big old pot. Just like with the noodles. Big old pot of noodles. Big old pot of whatever you make. Big old pot. And then you just eat that as lunch. Eat that as dinner. And that's going to save you a lot of money. Because you're not going to be going out to eat. Because your food is already made. Unless you're really picky. But I'm not picky. You can't be picky if you're trying to save money. And I know you're wanting to save money in other ways other than just food because you're broke. Right now you're broke and you're just trying to get out of debt. You're just trying to save money. You're just trying to get through. This video right here will help you save more money. So go watch it. Peace, love, and happiness. I'm rooting for you, bro.